amount you bought is 5,000, so we put that one here. Now I want to okay, so then let's move on. Sorry. Then we have snitch. You understand? Snitch, if you have any figure in snitch, you put it here. This individual already have, so it's 0 here. Now other investment, so if you have any source of other investment, any investment you have done, that actual figure is placed here. You understand? Okay, then we have total investment. So this is just the summation of this will give you the summation of your T-bill, your SNIT, your other investments will give you your total investment, because since this is what you have here. Okay, now we have personal use asset. This has to do with if you own a house, you understand, or you own, you know, some vehicles, you have some cars, and you have other properties. This is where you put it. Now if you own a house, someone may ask, how do I know the cost of the house? Okay, you what we do is, you know, let's say if you build the house today, then maybe the amount you spend in building the house, that's the cost of the house. Okay, but let's say the house has been with you, or you have been in the house for a year or two, understand, then you can call a bank to what, to value the house, and when they tell you the figure, you know, you fix it here. Now one trick you can do is, when you have a house, you can go to a bank, any bank, you can go to any bank, you know, the renowned banks, but you any bank, and tell them, okay, please, I want to use my house for a loan. I have this house here, I want to use for a loan. So they come and do the value. They come and value the worth of the car, sorry, the house, and they let you know the amount they can give you based on your house. In a nutshell, that's the value of your house. So you put that figure here. If you have about 10 cars or a car, the cost, you understand, you put it in here. If maybe you bought it first year 80,000 cedis, you put it in here. You understand? I don't want to go too much into details or technical. I don't want to be too much technical in here. Okay, so you have personal properties too. If you have any other properties, the words you put it in here. So now this figure we see here, as you can see, is total what, assets. So this, the whole thing here is your total what, assets. Is just summation of your total investment, summation of your personal use assets, summation of your total cash and cash equivalents, and those total, you know, those total will give you 100 and sorry, will give you 127,120. You understand? Okay, so that will give you 127,120 cedis. You understand? Okay, now that's the amount. That's your total assets. Okay, now we have mortgage, we have auto loans, we have credit card, we have student loan, we have other loans. Now, what are these? What do you see here? The mortgage. Okay, what you see here? Mortgage, which is zero loan, so and so on. Now, let me explain this. Mortgage has to do with, it's a loan, it's a type of loan, but it's associated with building. And let me just use an example to explain it. Okay, let's say you want to buy a house, and you have, let's say they are telling you that the house is let me just use a simple figure we can relate to. Let's say 5,000 cedis. Okay, now let's say they are saying the house is 5,000 cedis, and maybe you have let's say 500 cedis. Yeah, funny enough, you have just 500 cedis, okay, and you decided to go for a loan of what, 4,500 cedis, right? Okay, Now, this 500 cities which you have, is what we call down payment. You understand? In this particular sense, it's called down payment. When you're talking about mortgage and everything, that's the amount you have. So that's the cash you have. So that's your down payment. You understand? And that down payment, which is 500 cedis, then you went for a loan of what, 4,500 cedis from a bank in the form of what, mortgage, because you're going to use that money to what, to build. You understand? Sorry, to buy a house. Okay, now that 4,500, the bank will give you, right, but it comes with interest. Now, so you put this mortgage figure 4,500 in here. So your mortgage is 4,500. That's the loan you went for. You understand? Then, if you are supposed to pay interest on that mortgage, you understand, on this 4,500, let's say you are paying like, let's say 50 cedis every month. Now, this 50 cedis has to appear here in your expenses. You understand? So maybe it will be here. That's what I'm saying, that it's not everything I've captured in here. So you decide. So if you have a mortgage, then you put in here maybe interest on what mortgage. You understand? And you put the 50 cedis in here. You understand? Okay. So since we don't have any mortgage, we don't have any this thing showing here. Okay, showing in our financial statement. Okay, so now let's move back to the balance sheet and let's put our mortgage to back to 0. Let me clean this. Let me clean this too. Let me clean this. And let me clean this. Okay, so now you have auto loans. You didn't go for any car, you don't have any auto loans, you don't have any credit card loans, but let's just say you have maybe let's say you have auto loans, let's just say you have auto loans, maybe 5,000. I'm using 5,000 too much. Okay, let's see auto loans. You have auto loans of, let's be real here, 80,000. Okay, so you have auto loans of what, 80,000, and that amount appears here. If you are supposed to pay any interest, because obviously you're supposed to pay interest, again it will appear in your expenses here. Okay, so let's move back to, now we are in the balance sheet again. Okay, so this the summation of this, the mortgage, the auto loans, the credit card, the student loans, the other loans, becomes your total liability. You understand? Then we need to know your net worth. So your net worth, again, I said, was what your assets minus your what liability will give you what your total, your net worth. You understand? That's this figure in here. Okay, so in a nutshell, this is how you calculate your net worth. And I hope you got whatever I said in here. If you have any questions, please let me know. And I thank you guys for listening. If you are confused, just watch it again. And if you don't understand anything, just put it in the group. We'll address it as a group. Thank you very much for listening, and good night.